Well, what is the 10x blueprint or framework?
Okay, so in order to do 10x, you have to do certain things. The most important is you don't want to just bring AI into everything without the need. So you want to diagnose the bottlenecks in your process.
Are you a scaling SaaS founder? Ready to make the leap from leading a team to leading an organization? Join us each week as we refill your think tank with actionable tips and strategies from great business minds you know and those you don't know yet. This is SaaS Fuel with your host, 5-time entrepreneur, SaaS founder, and globetrotting adventurer, Jeff Maines.
Welcome back to the SaaS Fuel podcast, where apps that spark daily use are basically digital snacks. Make them addictive enough, and suddenly it's 2 a.m. and someone's still scrolling, tapping, and questioning their life choices. I'm your host, Jeff Maines. I help B2B SaaS founders like you grow from traction to scale. Here, growth is more than just numbers. It's about crafting a future-proof company, premium valuation, and leaders who build a business of significance while living epic, adventurous lives. Why are some startups racing ahead with leaner teams, faster products, and happier customers, while others are still caught in the feature creep hamster wheel? It's not magic, it's AI and a completely different mindset around software development. In this episode, we're diving headfirst into how artificial intelligence is reshaping the way modern companies build, scale, and deliver value. Forget 6-month dev cycles and bloated backlogs. We're talking about tools that turn months into hours, automate testing, and spin up production-ready apps at lightning speed. But this isn't just about speed, it's about strategic speed. We'll unpack what it really means to adopt a 10x growth mindset. And no, it's not about working your team into the ground. It's about getting laser focused on customer outcomes. We'll unpack what it really means to adopt a 10x growth mindset. And no, it's not about working your team into the ground. It's about getting laser focused on customer outcomes, solving the right problems, and using AI to unlock leverage where it counts. You'll hear why chasing feature parity is a losing game, probably more now so than ever before, how outcome-based innovation trumps reactive product building, and how automation isn't just a productivity hack, it's the backbone of modern scalability. And if you've ever viewed product development like a one-and-done house build, it's time for a reality check. Software isn't static. It's a living system that needs continuous care, iteration, and a keen eye on what's next. Sometimes it feels like managing a toddler. So if you're ready to stop building like it's 2015 and start thinking like a product leader who ships at the speed of relevance, this episode is your blueprint. Let's get into it. Our expert guest last Thursday was Evan Schwartz, global strategist at AMCS Group. Evan shared how AI is changing the nature of work, why creativity must be prioritized in education, and how businesses can navigate digital transformation by mastering their current processes before investing in new tech. That was really, really eye-opening. Something you kind of know, but very, very interesting to hear him talk about that and what's working today. And our founder last week was Nick Froelich, founder and CEO of Saratasa, where he helps companies bridge the gap between tech potential and business practicality. Nick broke down why SaaS isn't set it and forget it, how to manage code debt proactively, and it seems like it never ends, and why being an agile translator between tech teams and business stakeholders is the key to long-term product success. If you missed either episode, go back and give them a listen. My guest today is Ghazenfer Mansoor, CEO of Technology Rivers, a company that empowers clients to streamline operations, scale faster, and harness the power of AI for meaningful business impact. With expertise spanning software architecture, product innovation, and business growth strategy, Ghazenfer is a trusted voice in tech. He's also the author of the upcoming book, Free App Promotion Playbook, helping mobile developers and growth-led SaaS companies amplify their reach. Whether he's simplifying automation or guiding startups to their first 10x leap, Ghazenfer helps visionary ideas become scalable realities. Welcome, Ghazenfer Mansoor. Hey, Ghazenfer. Welcome to SaaS Fuel.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for inviting me to your show.
Well, Technology River is known for building innovative SaaS tools. And what's your origin story? What gap in the market did you see?
So, Technology Rivers, we started as a mobile app development company 10 years ago. And as you know, like most businesses just find their true like the customers drive what you really want to build. So gradually we got into more and more custom software development, more and more focus on the healthcare side, building HIPAA compliant. Along the way, as we were working with different customer, we we got few projects where we started building the internal tools and helping businesses uh, grow through technology. So that seemed turned out to be that we realized that that's really a good niche, and a lot of businesses are struggling with this. Like there are so many businesses with common challenges, bottleneck. They're doing the traditional way. How do you
Right.
build these internal tools, bring more efficiency into their processes? So now our focus is more helping businesses 10x through AI and technology.
Love that. And I think it's really smart to focus on industries. You mentioned HIPAA, and you focused heavily on healthcare and service-based businesses. What are maybe some of the unique challenges in those industries, specifically around SaaS and AI, that you can actually solve?
Yeah, so compliance is one of the main. So obviously in healthcare,
It's
everybody is
huge.
worried about is my application data is being used or how the data is being used. Now with AI, it's even more challenging because people are putting the data on AI. Is it
Yeah.
safe? Is it so? There are a lot of compliance and regulations. You have to be careful. How do you make sure you use the data the right way, you build the right way. So you have to know how to do these things to make sure you are in compliance. So that's one. The number one is in many cases, just like you know how Steve Jobs says, your customers don't know what they want. You have to show them what you want. So we have seen that in a lot of service businesses, whether it's a home care, whether it's a assisted living, whether it's autism care, or any of those services business, even in the non-healthcare, like real estate or ed tech. Many businesses are trying to do the same way. And there is a formula, there is a way to 10x. So if you just doing the same way as your competition, you are doing the traditional way. So you have to find something that make you unique. How many times we're talking to businesses, you say, well, what is the differentiator? Oh, I'm another dev shop. I'm another marketing company. Another,
Right.
we're doing home care. Like we have a better service. We have a better support. Our people are more skilled, right? It does matter, but it doesn't matter as well. So you have to come up with something unique to create a big difference. Doesn't mean you won't have a business without that. You can still have it, but you can gradually be, I would say, outgrow by your competition.
That makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned 10x a couple of times, and I think technology really is a differentiator and can help
Right.
drive that growth. Where do you see founders commonly say overcomplicate their early SaaS products, and how do you help them course correct and make technology a real differentiator and get that 10x bump?
Absolutely. I think the bigger one we have seen is the feature race. A
Yeah.
lot of founders just want to keep building many of those features. We need to have all of these features because our competition has it. The problem is when you are on the feature race, you are just behind. Your competition is ahead. They have more money,
Sure.
more resources, and they are quickly building more and more. So that's the challenge. So prioritizing your product is really important. We recommend building maybe just one feature, one thing which is unique, one that is differentiator, one that's solving a core problem for your customer. If if you can solve that one launchable feature, obviously not, you don't want to be launching something just one feature that doesn't really help run
Right.
independently. So
Right.
if you can launch one feature that's solving a problem and then gradually add others, so you prioritize with the important one so that you can get more customers. And it could be initially by doing the integrations with other systems. So think of this way. So for example, if you're building tomorrow another CRM or another EMR, there are already hundreds.
Right.
Just buying another EMR, which is cheaper, which is another common thing we hear all the time, that, oh, this is cheaper, it's not going to make a cut. So, but let's say if that EMR is not doing, let's say, a specific conversion. Let's say it's not doing audio to text. I'm just throwing as an example.
Okay, sure.
Or if your CRM is not doing integration with certain things, or how people are recording the data or giving a report, you can create some integration initially just to solve that one problem. Once you get the customer, now you got all these people to reach out. Now you can start adding more features for those customers. And now those are the ones gradually will move on. At some stage, if your features are way more, gradually you will migrate those customers to your real customers. But yeah, that's a big trap, the features.
Yeah. That's a big one. I think it's an easy one to fall into because we think that we have to have all the things that the competition has plus some new secret thing. But I like that where you can really focus in on what's missing, what's a real problem I can solve. It's not about the features, but it's about the problem. How can I fix this problem that the other things in the market are not solving today?
Exactly.
Yeah. And how do you think about that when you're approaching a development project and what really matters, what problem solves, and how much is enough? I think that's always a big question. What does a launchable product look like? And how do you know when you're there or if you've overbuilt or it's not quite ready for prime time?
Your customers will drive it. So build only things that your customer wants. To get a feedback early, you want to put a small product out. You get a customer's feedback, and as they're asking certain features, you start building. Are they willing to pay for it? So that's an easy route, rather than you build and then you realize 80% of your features are not being used by the customer, only 20%. What if
Right.
you had done this research up front and you build those 20%, and then the money that you spend on 80% used towards building some additional features that these 20% of the customers are asking?
So if we're asking customers, how does that fit with showing them what to want versus asking them what they want? Where's the balance there?
It's a bit tricky, but
Sure.
as I was saying earlier, sometimes to some customers they don't know what is possible. So that's also
I like
many
that.
times you got the customer, then they come up with a solution, and okay, why do you want this thing? Oh, because as you dig deeper, you do the discovery, you realize they actually wanted something because of this one problem, and they think, let's say, integrating with the calendar or Outlook is going to solve their problem,
Right.
or building a CRM would solve their problem. But in reality, they are actually doing the product part. They are actually providing that solutioning, and that's not their expertise. So you want to show them what is possible. Sometimes you do discovery and figure out what they want and then give them. And sometimes, if you, again, depending on your specialty, if you really know that space really well, you need the subject matter expert for that space who knows how to, who these customers are, what they really want, and what are the pain points. Sometimes you can come up with something and build and show them. And that we have seen in many times and especially in the service businesses. If you're building something that 10x their growth, that's where you want to come up with some ideas to show them, hey, if you do this, this is how it's going to help you grow.
That's so important is to really not just take that surface level request for a feature because customers really don't want features. What they want is outcomes. And when we can get to that outcome and what it is that they're really trying to accomplish, we can figure out that path there. And maybe that the feature request is the right way. But a lot of times I think there's lots of other ways to get to that outcome and maybe much more simple or much more elegant ways to get there than just taking that feature request at face value, really getting down to the outcome and what are you really trying to do? What do you want to happen when this feature is implemented?
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally agree. And with now things have changed with AI. Obviously, things have gone much cheaper. Now
Yes.
you can do much more faster, but it's still not about the speed. AI is not going to help. I mean, yes, AI does help you get things done faster, but it's about more efficiency, more value. So
Yeah.
if the AI is going to help you break some of those bottlenecks, bring more efficiency into your processes, go for it. But again, you still don't want it to be just feature building too many features, because if your users are not using those features, then you are just creating a lot more liability because now you have a big code base.
Right.
It has it needs upgrade, it needs maintenance.
Right.
And you are spending time on something which is not being used on a daily basis.
Right. What role is AI playing right now in your product build outs? And where are other companies or other developers not really taking advantage of what AI can deliver?
Oh, it's mind blowing how AI is changing everything, especially on the development side. So we leverage heavily AI driven development. A lot of vibe coding that includes using different tools like Cursor, Claude Code, Replit, Lovable, Bolt, UX Pilot. There's so many. Now
Yes.
everything comes. So we have a mandate in our company that everybody needs to be 10x because if they're not 10x, that means they're going to be kicked out by the competition. And I remind
Mm,
everybody about the blockbusters of late 90s, the Toys R Us, Babies R Us, where if you're not picking up on innovation, you're going to left behind. The same is the case in the software development on AI. So AI is changing everything. If we keep doing the thing in a traditional way, we're going to be crushed by the competition.
sure.
So we decided that we're gonna compete on it. We're gonna go ahead of the competition. We're gonna build things that help us do things faster, that bring more efficiency into our processes, that help us deliver much faster, quicker, and cheaper for our customers. So that includes leveraging AI to do development, leveraging AI to test the applications, generating everything much faster, like creating AI agents that help automate a lot of those things. So I'll give you some examples. So for example, using Claude Code, using Cursor, you can create code much faster. There are things that were taking months. Now we're creating in days. It's an hour, so it's much faster. You can create a documentation much faster. You can create tests. You can do the code coverage, unit testing, automation of the testing of the application, whole lot of things. Like you can give just prompts and you can create a whole UI for the application. Like we built
Right.
the whole healthcare scheduling application just in few hours. We built the whole home care application in just few hours using vibe coding. Yes, it does need tweaking in order to be production ready, but you can create a lot of those much faster. In our process,
Yes.
if I get a lead, many times we're just creating a POC before our customers call, just showing them in our call, hey, this is what can be built using the tool, whether it's creating assessments, whether it's creating EMR integration, any of those. So yeah, we are heavily into AI throughout our company, whether it's creating a documentation, whether it's creating user stories automatically from the document. So, like, rather than just manually creating user stories into Jira, you can use AI now to push those into Jira automatically. We have a requirements agent that asks you a few questions, and once you give some of those answers, it will generate the requirements document out of it. It will create a markups for you right out of the box. So previously, you need all those different people to do those. Now
Right.
you are doing it all yourself. So obviously, and that's impacting a lot on how the developers used to work. So now it's changing. The developer, like rather than having a developer mindset, now you need to have an architect mindset. You need to have a product mindset, because how good you can articulate the problem. If you can articulate the problem really well, AI is your really good friend.
Yes. Oh, that's really, really smart. Are you missing key relationships that could transform your leadership? Most leaders are. They just can't see it. And here's what shocked me: the most successful leaders aren't lone heroes. They're the center of four specific relationships that multiply their impact while preserving their sanity. You're probably like everybody else, drowning in connections, but starving for real support. And it's creating a silent epidemic of leadership burnout among executives just like you. So, take my free assessment at thecaptainskeys.com. Discover which critical relationships you're missing in under 5 minutes, and then grab my new book, The Captain's Keys. Part Netflix drama, part game changing blueprint for leadership that actually sustains you. One CEO called it the owner's manual I never got. So stop flying blind and see what you're missing. Well, what is the 10X blueprint or framework?
Okay, so in order to do 10x, you have to do certain things.
Okay.
So the most important is you just want to be just don't want to do 10x. You don't want to just bring AI into everything without the need.
Right.
So you want to diagnose the bottlenecks in your process and delivery. You have to look at everything. What are the bottlenecks? And based off of that, you want to create the AI assisted automation frameworks based off of those bottlenecks that you identify. Then you want to build a proprietary system that can bring more efficiency and scaling in your processes. And what is the outcome of that? The outcome is higher margin, better ops, better valuation. You have a much higher exit potential in your business.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, from your project work to scaling, what you have now, a top ranked development firm, what's your biggest I didn't see this coming moment as a founder?
We got few leads in the past few days. So last week, one lead, we asked the guy, how did you find us? And the answer was, I searched on ChatGPT and I searched on Gemini. Both listed Technology Reviews as the top development company for the healthcare. Number one ranking on both. That's something I wasn't expecting. In the past, we got leads from Claude, we got leads from Perplexity. So obviously, the whole game is changing. The SEO is changing, the marketing is changing. But all the things we are doing, that's something I wasn't expecting. And I don't know if this was the answer you're looking for, or are you looking more from a development perspective?
No, I think both. I think that is a really, really good answer. That's happening more and more, where people are actually using the different AI platforms as the search engine. And we've even seen some changes in Google with the AI snippets and those kinds of things. But that is where the industry is going. Search engine optimization, keyword stuffing, kind of the old way is dead. And the new way is really how do we show up in the AI search results. And I think a lot of that is in our content, having a unique perspective and standing out, but being the obvious choice in the industry.
Absolutely.
It's much harder to game now, I think, than it was in years past.
True. In the past, you could create all those different things, the linking and all of that, but now the real ones will, and I'm sure things will change here as well. So
of course,
you have to continue working. So the people who are ahead will be visible.
Well, as a technical founder, how do you manage the balance between client customization and building scalable, repeatable solutions?
So, I mean, as a founder, that's my job. That making sure that we have those processes in place that are not really just for ourselves, but for our customers as well. So I need to keep an eye on those KPIs, on those numbers. And if I'm getting that, that means those are being reviewed for my customers' work as well. So some of those things, we build those internally processed for any of the stuff that we are building for ourselves. So that help us go through that process. And obviously that's being pushed into the client as well.
I think that's a really difficult thing for founders. So I think it's really good that that's something that's part of your process in helping keep them on track as they're building, because it's really easy to build and customize and do a bunch of special things that become a real monster to maintain at scale. And so really focused on building scalable, repeatable things. I think that's a really important thing that I'd love to hear that that's something that you're paying attention to for your clients.
I am a big process guy, so I push anything that's being repeated a few times. We want to build something, how we can simplify that. If we can do that, that's going to help our customers as well. Because if we're not doing it for ourselves, then how would it be? So I think the more important part is it's building that mindset, training people so that they're part of that process, because like it's easy to build the process. The bigger challenge is how do you execute it? How do you make sure that
Right.
people are using those processes? And
Right.
that's where those training, the reminders, that's another process to make sure people are following the process, and which is not easy. Whenever you're dealing
Right.
with humans, there will be challenges. So
Of
obviously, we're
course.
trying to identify different tools, creating all those processes, using different tools. As we are learning one challenge to another one, we keep working on it, improving it.
Really good. We've worked with a lot of startup clients. What is maybe one myth about product development timelines that you wish that more founders understood?
I think building a product is like building a house. And many times I hear the founders, because they are hearing all these different messages. So like, even let's say from my message earlier, oh, you can build in 2 hours, you can build this thing in 3 hours. That is
Right.
true, that you can do. You can create POCs. But when it comes to production ready, even for a production ready, the businesses are not, it's a one-time thing. So there are times where we gotta, let's say for non-technical or people who haven't built the products before or who came from a different types of businesses, we need a turnkey solution that we build once and it works forever. But the software it's ongoing enhancement, because if
Right.
you build a software that you don't need enhancement, that means your business is not really doing well. Because if you already have a customer that's using, they keep asking how many times you use a tool and you are always satisfied. Is it email, whether it's a spreadsheet, everything, like whether you're using any social networking, anything you're using, you are wishing to have more features, or can we have this thing? How do I
Right.
do this X thing in the business, in this process? So many times these are confusion that, oh, it's a one-time build and it's worked forever. That's
Right.
the misunderstanding. And then, and as you're building it, like even if you're building something quicker, if you build something that has even the right foundation, but the gradually you need to grow. Like I give an example, like how many times even the house that you build, you don't have expense. Like even the stuff all new, you will have some things got broken gradually.
Right.
You need a maintenance, you need to enhance, but then you need a bigger as well. Like as you build the house, you want to 1 year you want to do the landscaping, another one you want to put recess lights or the closets or
Right.
all those. Yeah. So I mean, and those are good examples. I tell people, because hey, you build it, but you got a bare bone house, right? But your wish list is, hey, I need to have, like, say, those closets, all of those, the bathroom upgrades. As you're using things, you will need to upgrade. So
Yes.
very similar in a software development process. So
It's a great analogy.
I haven't seen a product that just works forever.
No, no, they don't. And the tech debt, the upgrades, the maintenance, it's ongoing. And the bigger the product is, the longer it's been around, the more of that there is. All the things that the dev said in the beginning of, oh, I can do it quick or I can do it right, and you went, oh yeah, let's just do it fast. Those things come back to haunt you. What's something you believed about software development 5 years ago that maybe you've completely changed your mind about now?
AI. I never thought that the AI is going to change the software development this way. This has always been the fastest growing field. Now a normal person, a layman, can build software. So obviously the demand will change. Everything is going to change. So I think it's totally changed my mind in terms of how. So as I was talking earlier, even from a developer's perspective, it's the mindset change. It's the
Yes.
different people. Like if you used to work the same way as before, now it's going to be challenging.
And will continue to become more and more so. As AI is not going anywhere. And so the ones that are adapting and starting to use it now, I think will be the most productive long term.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I think now we see that the trend is more towards building AI agents. Like every business do need processes to automate their
Sure.
processes, right? So that's where a lot more agents will come. So you need to customize, like whether you're integrating with your QuickBooks, whether you're using it for your CRM or for your customer discovery or for responding to your customers' queries, everything, you will have a lot more agents.
Earlier, you talked about building apps and going 10x, and that happens when things are used daily versus used once or downloaded and forgotten. And you wrote a book that's coming out all about that, called Beyond the Download: How to Build Mobile Apps People Love, Use, and Share Every Day. I love that title. Tell me a little bit more about the book and how you do that, where you build something that people are using all the time, not just taking up space.
Yeah, so I came into mobile long time ago from early days when it was just a web-based phone. So I worked with a startup early when we're building the wireless communities and then building the mobile framework, even before iPhone and Android came. And then obviously when iPhone and Android came, got into that line and started building apps. So I've been working in the mobile space for more than 20 years now. So obviously, and then in the last 10 years, helping, as I mentioned earlier, started as a mobile app development company. Our very first customer was a mobile app
Nice.
client. So we have built, I would say, close to 60 different apps in the last 10 years. So all these different applications that we have built, learned a lot. And my own expertise are on the process automation, so on the product management. So guiding and coaching these customers, working with them, learning even many times from all of these customers in terms of how different strategies worked in different products. So this book is all based on the experiences of all these different projects that I've done, all the insights that I gained along the way. That has, if I'm not mistaken, I think 34 different strategies that we shared in this book. So how do you use these different strategies to grow and scale? Many of those strategies do need to be implemented as part of your app building. So, I mean, there are millions of apps on Apple and Google Store. How
Right.
many times I can't even count the apps I have downloaded on my phone. How many of them am I using every day? So you
Very
want to
few.
create an app. So the ones that will make a difference are the ones that people use every day. So what are the different strategies? What are the tricks and tips that you can use to build an app that people not only download, but use every day and share every day? If your app is being loved, people are sharing every day, people are using every day, it will grow. So whether it's a money-making app, whether it's another app that's supporting your business, is it part of the actual business, doesn't matter. Whatever are your end goals, you can achieve that if you build those apps the right way.
Love that. But as mobile and SaaS continue to blend, what does the next generation of those daily use apps look like?
So I think as the landscape is changing, so people are moving more and more towards building those agents, because the SaaS will continue to build now, but you can build much more faster. And so that means a lot of things that were so expensive and somebody else had to raise for it and build those apps, now many businesses can make themselves, because at the end you're solving some problem, right. So SaaS is definitely going to help. It will continue, but it's not about revenue anymore. It's not about growth anymore. It's more about the efficiency, how you can quickly get those things. But automation, the AI agents, that will make a difference in terms of how you're building the SaaS and mobile product.
Makes a lot of sense. What's your number one piece of advice for SaaS founders who are trying to integrate AI into their product without turning it into a science project?
So the number one advice is it's the same as before. Look for the problem and create a solution for that problem rather than just building another one. Now that you have AI, doesn't mean you start building everything that ton of other people building. So it's,
Right.
as I said, it's not about bringing it faster. Now it's about bringing value, what value it can bring, how you can scale your business through AI. So yes, so it shouldn't be just another tool that you can build now, but something that makes a difference in your business and in your clients' businesses.
Makes so much sense. So you're really using it to solve a real problem, not just implementing AI just because AI is cool.
Right. And now the software is being built by architects and AI agents. The old playbook is obsolete. You can't do the same way as you were doing it before.
Very good. Where can people learn more about you and about Technology Rivers online?
So my website is ghazenfer.com, Ghazenfer.com, my first name. And the business website is Technology Rivers, Rivers, one word, .com, no hashes. And on the website, you can find about the book, the podcast, and everything.
Fantastic. We'll make sure and link that in the show notes. Ghazenfer, it's been such a great honor to have you on the show. Super informative. Thanks for being on SaaS Fuel.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks again, Ghazenfer, for coming on the show and sharing your insights and resources. You can learn more about Ghazenfer and Technology Rivers at technologyrivers.com. As always, all links, highlights, resources, and full show notes are available at saasfuel.com. And check out our YouTube channel as well. It's at Champion Leadership. Lots and lots of resources over there for you. Thought leaders share. Share this episode with your favorite overcaffeinated founder friend. It's the insight they didn't know they needed between espresso shots. Everyone who shares this week gets a self-filling coffee mug powered by your ambition. It detects burnout and auto-brews inspiration. Patent pending and slightly sentient. How do you revive a bankrupt beverage brand into a $400 million powerhouse and then do it again? Our expert guest on Thursday, Josh Sizemore, has built, turned around, and scaled businesses across industries for over 25 years. He's also led billion-dollar franchises, sat on major boards like Caltech and Goodwill, and built one of the top online marketplaces in the US. So good. You're going to love that episode. And then our founder on Tuesday is John Long, CEO of Think AI. He is a visionary founder and AI evangelist. John helps businesses harness intelligent technology to grow smarter and scale faster. Whether at the whiteboard or with his 4 kids on the sidelines, John's mission remains the same: help people and businesses achieve their very best. I will see you next time, and as always, enjoy the journey.
Thanks for listening to SaaS Fuel. Full show notes for each episode, which includes a summary, key takeaways, quotes, and any resources mentioned, are available at saasfuel.com. Be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're enjoying the content and getting value from these episodes, please leave us a rating and review at ratethispodcast.com/SaaSFuel. We'll be sure to read these out on future episodes.